All right. So, for anyone with us this evening, we are just getting ready to get started, working through some logistics at the moment, and we will get going in just a couple moments. Okay. All right, everyone. So, hello and good evening, and thank you for joining us for tonight's first ever Ask a Planner live session. Today is Thursday, April 29th, 2001, and we are here in Wasco County. All of this session is being recorded and it will be available to watch at your convenience via Facebook, the Wasco County Planning website, and the project webpage, wasco2040.com. My name is Isaac Statz, and I am a long range planner here at Wasco County. And a couple quick things about me. I'm a fifth generation Oregonian. I grew up in Clackamas County raising emus. I spent my holidays coming here to the Dalles to visit my grandparents. Both my parents grew up here, and I studied planning, earth science, and geology at Portland State University before I relocated here to Wasco County. This evening, I am joined by a few of our staff members. They are working behind the scenes to review any questions or comments as they come in. So just have a little bit of patience with us while we work through those. Tonight's event is for you to submit questions, comment on other people's questions, and participate in polls about the Wasco County 2021-2022 Land Use and Development Ordinance Update, or LUDO update for short. Tonight, we're focusing on Chapter 2, Procedures and Notices, and Chapter 21, Land Divisions and Road Standards. Our goal is to get everyone's questions on Chapters 2 and 21 answered tonight. However, if I'm not able to get to your questions live, we will follow up with you and we may post your question and the answer to your question on the FAQ page found at wasco2040.com. All right, so a brief little outline of how tonight's going to run. First, I'm going to go over what this entire Ask a Planner live event is, why we're doing it, and how it will be helpful to you. Second, we're going to go over the different ways that you can participate, not only with us here tonight, but also throughout the entire LUDO update process. I'll be showing you some of the web pages and some tools that we've created to make it easier for you to see what's going on and participate along the way. Then we will move into the question and answer portion of tonight's event. We've had some questions submitted already. You can submit your questions right now, live, or at any time. And our staff members will read them and try to respond as soon as possible. Finally, we're going to go over next steps and what you can expect to come next. So I just want to check in with the audience real quickly and see if we have anything coming in yet. Doesn't look like we have any comments. We've got a few viewers joining us already tonight, so that's good. Let's see if we can take a quick poll here. Activate. So for those of you with us, wanted to know where do you call home? Here, North County, Central County, South County, or do you live somewhere outside of the county? All right. So we'll show some results here. Okay, so North County seems to be winning. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on. So we're holding this. What is this event for? We're holding this live event to offer a chance for you, the public, to ask us questions on anything regarding Chapter 2 or Chapter 21 of the LUDO update. We have all of the information that we're going to be sharing tonight is also available on our county website. And let me see if I can share my screen with us live. It's not wanting to let me share my screen. I apologize for this little pause. So I was really excited to show off our project website. It is full of a ton of useful information. So while we try to work on that, I can try to walk you through what you see there. So when you, well, that's not really gonna. All right, well, we'll move on real quickly to different ways that we can participate, not only tonight, but in future upcoming meetings. As I said earlier, we are recording right now on Facebook. When this session is complete, we will have the video and we will post this up on our county website, and it will be on our YouTube channel. And you will also be able to find it on the project webpage, wasco2040.com. There are other ways that you will be able to participate with us tonight and in the future. You can if you're here with us this evening, you can enter in your comments into Facebook here. You can send us an email. You can email us directly at wcplanning@co.wasco.or.us. We do review all of those emails as they come in, and we will respond to those as they come in. You can also get a hold of us through our planning project website. That is at wasco2040.com. While there, on the right-hand side of the page, you can navigate down to our Ask a Planner function. There you can click on the icon and you can submit your question to us there. All right. So we're going to pause for a quick second here while I get this next part. And I know this silence here probably feels like an eternity for those joining us. Um, all right. Well, we're still working on the screen sharing. So we can just move into a few of the questions that we have coming in. So if you have visited the wasco2040.com website, you would have seen a bunch of different icons. They are they indicate different sections that are being updated. On the main page, you can see on the right-hand side, just above the Ask a Planner function, that our current outreach focus is on chapters 2 and chapters 21. Those icons are going to follow all of the progress throughout the entire process. So anytime you see the icons on the web page or in different documents, you'll know exactly which chapter or which section it's corresponding to. So the question, the icons on the website show major categories. Sorry about that. All right, so another question that came in is, how can I see what is changing? So how we can see changes are the easiest way is going to be through the project website, wasco2040.com. So staff has created some one-sheet handouts for chapters 2 and 21 that summarize major revisions. Chapters 21 and 22 are also presented in annotated revision styles so that you can see the deletions, additions, any movement of text, and any other details or changes in the edits. Also, we've highlighted critical revisions for chapters 21 and 22 with notes located on the page before the drafts. A key to the revision markups is the chapter 21 one sheet. All of these one sheets and information are located again at the project website. One thing to note is that as you're looking through chapter 2, it will require a side-by-side comparison just because of the sheer quantity of the text that was moved around during that portion. It was reconstructed to help improve the readability of the chapter. All future changes will align with chapters 21 and 22 so that you will be able to see what is changing. Another question that we had come in, why are you updating these chapters now? Great question. So staff, partners, and the public have identified portions of the Land Use and Development Ordinance, or LUDO, as we call it, that needed updating. So during the Wasco County 2040, which was the update to the comprehensive plan, the public shared their version for the next 20 years of land use planning here in Wasco County. And that included revisions to the LUDO. These updates include changes made to state law over the last decade, which have not yet been incorporated into the LUDO. The update process is intended to improve, streamline, or follow the community vision for land use planning here in Wasco County. Chapters 2 and 21 were identified as key chapters to update because they are focused on procedures staff follows for permitting. These chapters have widespread implications for all development and permitting activity here in Wasco County. The bulk of the proposed revisions are state law updates or reorganizing content for readability. So the results should improve permitting in the future. We do have examples on our project webpage of the new chart for chapter 2, which can help show the improved readability. On that same page, there's also a survey that you can take. And we'd like to get your feedback on if you think it did help, or if you think the changes did help improve the readability of the chapter. All right, so the next question that it looks like we had come in is, are there any major changes to chapter 2? Good question. So the most significant change is a complete restructuring of the content, as we kind of mentioned earlier, which is meant to make it easier to follow. We've also added a quick reference chart, which I had just mentioned earlier, and it's also on the project website. that you can see. Um, and that's just supposed to help for you to see the review process for specific types of uses. So it's really meant to just help streamline what you're looking at and see um, what you're doing. Staff created a quick comparison chart to see how previous sections were moved, altered, or removed. The guiding document also highlights other changes, like adding state law references. So those are the major changes, really, to Chapter 2 there. All right, another question came in. Oh, this is a fun one. I saw something on Facebook about a virtual open house. What is that? So the Open Virtual House is a staff-produced, on-demand open house experience on the project website where you can explore these short explainer videos that we've made. We have all of the summaries to changes, and you can learn more about proposed updates and provide feedback through this virtual open house. It is located um, on the right-hand side of the project website, wasco2040.com. And if you scroll down, you can click on Visit Our First Virtual Open House, and you can just click through the content there to kind of get an idea for the process of this 2-year update. Let's see if we can't get a question asked here. Let's see. So the question that we're going to ask is, what would you like to see at a virtual open house? This is going to be an open-ended question, so you can type in the box, and we'll leave this open for just a moment so that participants can get their answers in there. All right, so hopefully you had an opportunity to go ahead and fill that out. We'll go ahead and close that card. And we can move on to our next question. All right, so this question came in. Is it possible to extend the notices that go out to let people know of proposed changes to zones? I watched as the distances from the property that received notifications have increased. If you are not touching the proposed change, you may not even know about it. All right, so um, this is another really good question. So Chapter 2 covers notification buffer distances, which is Section 2.090 of the Wasco County Land Use and Development Ordinance, or the LUDO. The distances are based on state law requirements, which is found in ORS 215.416, subsection 11, subsection C. In 2018, at the request of the Board of County Commissioners, staff prepared a review of notification buffers to analyze the impacts of expanding the buffers. For farm and forest zones, the analysis showed that enlarging the buffer zone would have minimal impact in most scenarios because of the average lot size, which is 80 to 160 acres. The most significant effect would be felt in zones with smaller minimum parcel sizes, like the rural residential zone. For the average rural residential zone, expanding the buffer would increase the overall cost of an application by an average of $150. Wasco County can expand notification buffers, and we would like to hear from you. So I am going to bring out another poll here, and the question is, would you like to see notification buffers expanded? Yes or no? We'll leave this open again just for a minute or two to let all of the participants capture their answer. All right, and then we'll go ahead and close that poll out. And then just as a follow-up, if you did want to see the distance expanded, by how much would you like to see them expanded? We've got three different options here: 100 feet, 250 feet, or 500 feet. And go ahead and make your selection now. All right, we'll go ahead and close that out. And then just as a one final follow-up on these notification buffers, do you have any other feedback about them? Anything at all you would like to share? You can go ahead and give us an open-ended question response. Looks like we still got a few people typing in. All right, we can go ahead and close that out now. All right, so let's see. Next question that came in. What are the major changes to Chapter 21? Seems fair. We asked about Chapter 2. Let's ask about Chapter 21. So the changes for Chapter 21 include revising language to reflect state law requirements, offer more flexibility, or I'm sorry, offer more flexible timelines, and making criteria clear and objective as required by state law. Based on the technical advisory group feedback, there is a proposal to require a preliminary title report at the time of application rather than at the final plat. The group felt this would help them identify and call out potential issues sooner to be addressed before payment and the application is submitted. The technical advisory group also worked to clarify the differences between property line adjustments and replats, which hopefully will make the process both more efficient and easier to understand. We've gone ahead and highlighted all significant revisions to the cover sheet of the revised drafts, and they are available to view or to download on the Chapter 21 webpage, which is found at the project website, which is again wasco2040.com. And that actually brings us right into good segue here. Who the heck is the Chapter 21 Technical Advisory Group anyway? So the Technical Advisory Group for Chapter 21 consists of 5 area surveyors, and the current Wasco County surveyor is on that um, group as well. Chapter 21 directly impacts the work surveyors do for Wasco County property owners when conducting land divisions. They are able to provide critical information on how to improve the functionality and efficiency of this chapter, and they advise on surveying state law. All right, we just had another comment come in. All right, next question here. Looks like will there be any changes to the road standards? In creating a separate road standards chapter, the intent is to make road standards easier to locate within the LUDO, the Land Use and Development Ordinance, particularly for applications that are not related to land divisions. The majority of changes to the current road standards are updating references and ensuring compliance with state law. In the section 22.040 on private roads, some additional language is added to the design criteria to ensure it is consistent with the fire safety standards, which can also be found in Chapter 10 of the LUDO. In practice, planners apply the most restrictive criteria, so this doesn't really change the requirements, but it should make it immediately more clear what the actual standard is. Some additions required a waiver of, I'm sorry, some additions require a waiver of remonstrance for future improvements on private roads to ensure all property owners utilizing the road pay their fair share if the county is required to be involved with maintenance or improvements. So the language preceding this also should make clear that the county is not liable for construction, maintenance, repair, etc., of private roads. This is the current practice, but the requirement to record this language with the plat is intended to clarify the approach to future property owners. You can review the draft on the Chapter 21 landing page, again, which can be found at wasco2040.com. And there you can see an overview of all of the major proposed revisions to the road standards chapter. All right, and this segues right into our next question here. Why are you creating a new chapter for road standards? Excellent question. So while most new private and public roads are created using land divisions, other permits or land use actions involve road standards. This includes road vacations, which is dissolving a paper road, the dedication of a road or improvements to roads. Throughout the year's analysis, comparing codes with other counties and reviewing state law, staff found that the best practice was to separate land division rules from road standards. It was felt that these updates would make it both easier to find, easier to understand, and make clear that road standard provisions in state law are not always tied to land divisions. So just a little nuanced difference there. All right, so speaking of road standards, let's ask a question. Do you think the new road standards chapter makes road standard information easier to find? Yes or no? And then again, I just want to take a quick second to plug our project webpage, which is wasco2040.com. And that is really where all of this information lives and can be found. All right, so it looks like things are slowing down, we'll go ahead and pause that poll out. All right, so we'll move on. Looks like our questions are starting to thin out here. Next question is, how can I get involved? It's my favorite question. So we encourage all citizens to go to the project website, wasco2040.com, and there you can read all of the drafts available. You can take all of our polls and surveys. You can submit your own comments. You can ask us questions. You can also visit the website to learn more about upcoming events and to share any feedback you have on this event, future events, really anything like that. The hearings process begins in September, and those packets of information are likely to be on the very long side. So we do encourage early participation to read materials as they become available. And then next steps. So staff will wrap on events and new materials for chapters 2 and 21 updates in April, at the end of the month. However, the virtual open house that was mentioned earlier, all of the polls, the surveys, and all of the material, the content, will be available through August on the project website, wasco2040.com. In May, we're going to switch gears, and we will focus on state law updates to the farm and forest zones and add agrotourism provisions to the farm zone. At the end of May, carrying through the beginning of June, staff will share proposed revisions to several environmental protection districts or overlay zones. So that is what's coming up next. Let's see here. I'm used to with all of these two ways, I'm used to seeing the other people. All right, everyone. Well, that looks like the last question we had there. I just want to take a quick moment to thank everyone for joining us this evening. We will be holding events like this again. And it doesn't look like we have any more questions or comments coming in. So we'll go ahead and close this up. And this recording will be available. Like I mentioned earlier, it can be found on our Facebook page, Wasco Planners. It can also be found on our Wasco County Planning website. It can be found on the LUDO Update Project website, wasco2040.com, and it will also be available on our YouTube channel. All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time.